Hello, 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 and welcome to Nursing News You Can Use at 5. I'm Tina Baxter, your host. As you can probably tell, I am a little bit under the weather, so my voice isn't quite where I would like it to be today. So I just wanted to make you aware of that fact. All right, let's get with our first affirmation for today. I love this one because I'm waiting on the HVAC guy to arrive. And it says, I am at peace with the weather. I am always physically comfortable. I am at peace with the weather. I am always physically comfortable. So I'm going to take a note out of the Louise Hay calendar here, and I am going to make peace with the weather right now as it's very warm outside. All right. So we have some exciting news, and I wanted to start off our show by talking about that tomorrow is our LinkedIn audio event with Smart Women Grow Rich and Prosper. With the Nurse Shark Academy, we have our LinkedIn event. You can sign up for that on LinkedIn tomorrow at 6 o'clock. It is an audio event, and we have great speakers, not only myself, but also Amanda Payne from Nurses in Tech, and we have another nurse, Nurse Lori, who is obviously Nurse Sylvia. She is a nurse who works with DMEs and independent medical exams, and she has her own business. So we'll be having those things coming up as well. So I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news because we've got a lot to cover. And of course, I want to start off with this the latest update on Steward Healthcare. I'm telling you, more just keeps coming. So this is from Healthcare Dive, and it said Steward executives cashed in prior to bankruptcy filing. So it says 14 executives received over $1 million in total compensation the year before Steward entered Chapter 11 restructuring, bankruptcy document shows. In the months leading up to Steward's Chapter 11 bankruptcy, executives themselves issued themselves multi-million dollar payouts, bankruptcy documents revealed. Among the top paid include CEO Ralph De La Torre, who received a salary of more than 3.7 million in the year prior to the bankruptcy. Steward also issued six-figure bonuses to two other executives, including the company's head of human resources and chief legal counsel, while simultaneously halting supplier payments and taking out loan payments to keep the company afloat. Steward's CEO is one of the 14 executives whose total compensation exceeded $1 million in the year prior to the company entering Chapter 11 restructuring. Jeffrey Morales, Executive Vice President for Business Operations, received a salary of $823,000 and a bonus of $1.25 million, according to Friday's filing, while Herbert Holtz, General Counsel, received $1.48 million in legal fees and expense reimbursements. Mark Rich, president of Steward Healthcare, received $1.73 million salary and a $500,000 bonus. Patrick Lombardo, executive vice president for human resources, received a salary of $842,000 and a $300,000 bonus. High salaries are typical for healthcare executives, especially if the health system performs well. Chief executives at HCA Healthcare and Universal Health Services took home above 20 million and 14 million in total compensation respectively last year. I just want to stop here for a moment and just think on that fact. So, you're paying out $1 million bonuses, and yet when asked, you can't give your staff, your nursing staff, a reasonable salary. You have to cut back on staffing to take care of the patients. You can't pay your bills, but you're giving out $1 million bonuses. Make it make sense, because I thought bonuses were tied to performance. And from what I'm seeing, the performance is not there. But I digress. Let's go on. Even struggling systems tend to pay their top executives well. Community Health Systems, which underperforms relative to its peers, paid CEO Tim Hintgen, I'm not sure I pronounced his last name, over $8 million in total compensation in 2023. However, Stewart's $1 million paydays follow accusations the health system failed to pay vendors on time, leading up to bankruptcy. Prior to entering restructuring, Stewart was being sued by dozens of vendors over claims the health system had reneged on contracts and, in some cases, used stall tactics such as issuing false checks to avoid making payments. Now, wait a minute. Now, if I issue a false check, then that means I'm doing something illegal and I'm going to jail. How is it that they can issue false checks and nobody's held accountable for that? Why was that not criminal? Anyway, I'll go on. So, at times, critical vendors withheld their services after payments were repeatedly delayed, and in one instance, a patient bled to death after a medical device was repossessed due to Stewart's failure to make timely payments, according to reporting from CBS News. Stewart has also been accused of improperly siphoning funds meant for patient care to spy on political opponents, analysts, and whistleblowers. This is getting worse and worse as we listen to what's happening more and more. I don't know. Gosh. One of the executives who received over $1 million in payments, Herbert Holtz, is alleged to have overseen that operation, according to previous reporting from the Boston Globe. The health system is also currently under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice for its conduct in Malta, where Stewart was contracted to run 3 hospitals, but never enriched the facility's international documents claim. So, excuse me, just to update you on what's going on in Stewart Healthcare. I'm going to try to make these stories go quick today. I do apologize because my voice is getting more rattly as we go on. But there's some important things that I just can't miss. And so let's talk about this. Okay, this is a big story. Everybody's been talking about it. You've probably seen it on social media already. But let's talk about what's happening at Dixon State University. Okay, this is wild. So this came from the Dickinson Press, and it says DSU nursing in crisis, resignation of entire faculty leaves uncertainty for future program. Excuse me. So you probably have seen this around. All right. So here, let's get into the story. So I'll give you the background because there is an update to said story. Okay, so Dickinson State University nursing program is in an unprecedented crisis as all of its full-time faculty members resigned on Wednesday, citing untenable workloads and potential accreditation issues. This mass resignation leaves the university without any full-time nursing faculty just weeks before the fall semester begins. So basically, they said, nope, we're not staying, we're out. Okay. So this is where it gets even wilder. So let's listen to this, okay? The resignation stemmed from ongoing disputes between the nursing faculty and DSU administration over new credit hour production requirements imposed in February. The DSU administration refutes claims that the nursing program's accreditation is at risk, asserting their commitment to maintaining high educational standards. So basically, the faculty said because they weren't giving the due diligence to the clinical side and making sure that they had enough clinical hours to take care of the patients and maintain safe faculty to student ratios, that this wasn't going to work. And basically, the administration said, "Suck it up, do it anyway." So they said, although they've not disclosed specific details on resolving the faculty shortage before the start of the semester, they assured that they are actively collaborating with the North Dakota University system to find a solution. Now, this is after the nursing faculty went to the accreditation board and asked for their assistance and getting the administration to understand what the rules are and how they're going to meet the quality measures that they have to maintain their accreditation. They also went to the Board of Nursing and said, look, can you help us with this? Because this president is being unreasonable. And again, his flippant remark was basically, hey, I'm just going to do what we should do. And I'm not going to let any one program dictate what we're going to have everybody do. So that's kind of what he was saying. So as DSU scrambles to find solutions amid an urgent need to support nursing students and maintain accreditation standards, the resignation of the entire Full-time nursing faculty underscores what faculty say are the critical issues at hand, calling for the necessitating of immediate and effective intervention to safeguard the future of the nursing program, its students, and the future proficiency of the healthcare system in North Dakota. So I had made a comment on, or tried to make a comment on this, and I said, hey, I think that the hospitals that are going to employ these future nurses should intervene and say, look, dude, get it together. So here's what the nurses said. So Teresa Brin, who's a resigned faculty member, shared that the modified credit production formula is unattainable under the current conditions. It's unethical for me to sign a contract that I know I can't fulfill, emphasizing that there's insufficient time and resources available to meet accreditation standards. She cited that along with the administration's failure to address faculty concerns, insufficient time and resources available to meet the standards prompted the faculty's resignation. Faculty members have expressed concern for their students, emphasizing their commitment to providing quality education. Our biggest concern right now isn't even us, it's our students. Ensuring they receive a quality education is our top priority. So despite numerous attempts at mediation, we'll hear that, numerous attempts at mediation, including the involvement of the North Dakota Nursing Board and the Accreditation Commission for Education and Nursing, Brin says that the administration has not resolved the faculty's concerns or made good faith efforts to do so. She said, we've raised red flags regarding non-compliance since 2022. Let me say this again, 22. We're at 24. They chose not only to ignore our concerns, but also to move the goalposts further away. In a letter dated May 17th of 2024, the Accreditation Commission for Education and Nursing informed DSU President Stephen Easton and Nursing Director Lucy Mayer that the university's baccalaureate nursing program was granted continuing accreditation for good cause for 18 months. This status requires a follow-up report to be conducted 6 weeks prior to a visit currently scheduled for the spring of 2025. So basically, it's sort of you're good for 18 months provisionally, knowing that you're going to make these changes to determine whether you are in compliance with accreditation standards. If you're not, then they're going to close the program or remove their accreditation, which essentially should close the program. So ACN's good cause probation is linked to the administrative role of the nursing program director. However, faculty members warned that the modified credit hour production formula, not yet flagged by accreditors, also poses significant accreditation risks. Brin highlighted the administration's unrealistic credit hour calculations for clinical courses, which she claims conflict with the practical needs of nursing education, which require more guided instruction and smaller student groups for safety and quality care. They have made adjustments to the director position to now be in compliance, or should be once reviewed with the new contract. But the story now is there are these other areas that we are alarming you that need changes in order to maintain accreditation that they are not addressing. So DSU's faculty contracts mandates instructors fulfill 24 credit hours and 320 modified credit production hours for 2022 to 25. The administration's approach does not, according to faculty, account for the distinct nature of nursing education. For instance, in clinical courses, faculty provide guided instruction through clinical rotations, maintaining strict instructor to student ratios essential for accreditation and safety. However, the nursing faculty say the current policy impedes faculty from meeting contractual obligations, risking non-renewal or reduction in compensation. So in June of this year, the Board of Nursing reported concerns about DSU's nursing programs following changes in the organizational structure, administrative support, workload, and credit hour production requirements. The report cited the limited time full-time faculty members have for planning, implementing, evaluating, and updating the program due to the heavy teaching workload. The report also noted that with the heavy workload, faculty would have limited time for academic advising, clinical coordination of preceptor assignments, and professional development. Without the time to support those types of activities, faculty will likely not be able to meet these requirements. So, Brennan Mayer expressed their increased workload will make it impossible to fulfill those obligations. So, according to the ex faculty, DSU's nursing programs must maintain a ratio of one instructor per no more than 8 students to ensure safety, as mandated by the North Dakota Board of Nursing and local health care facilities. Faculty contracts require instructors to fulfill 24 credit hours along with the 320 modified credit hours. Okay. So here's what President Steve Easton said, noting that he could not comment on personal matters, but assured efforts are underway to find new faculty and maintain program accreditation. It does appear that our nursing faculty have decided not to accept DSU's contract offer for the upcoming year. We are working hard to hopefully identify new nursing faculty members and to work on partnerships with other North Dakota University system institutions. I can't tell you right now how those efforts will end. I can just say we're actively working on those matters. The nursing faculty believe, or I should say the former nursing faculty, this is how catty he got in this response. They apparently believe that the rules that apply to all of the rest of the DSU faculty should not apply to them. I will not have a special set of rules for an entire program that allows that program to produce less credits and to work less hard than faculty in other programs. Again, less hard. Are you serious? Have you even been to clinical? So I looked up this guy because I want to know what his background was. You know what his major was in college? He went to DSU business. And then he went to law school. So he doesn't have any clinical background whatsoever. I'm just pointing that out. So the AACN, which is the accreditation board, says does not have any specific policies or requirements regarding the workload for faculty or nursing administrator. So this is the first article that came out. So I have a follow up. So I had to bring this because this just came in like in the last 24 hours or so. And so, all this stuff blew up the last few days. And then I get this report that as of yesterday, Dickinson State president resigns, blaming the nursing board. So, really. So in the fallout from the mass resignation of Dickinson State's nursing faculty, President Stephen Easton said North Dakota's nursing board prevented him from quickly restaffing the program. The board says that's not true. Days after Dickinson State University's entire full-time nursing faculty resigned in protest of heavy workloads, President Stephen Easton stepped down on Monday. As the faculty will attest, I did not come here to make life comfortable for the faculty, though I have tried to support them as much as possible. He's a DSU alumnus who became president of the North Dakota University in 2020. I did come here to do whatever I could for students, including what needed to be done, even though unpopular, to keep DSU here for future students. Easton said in a written statement that he came up with a plan for quickly hiring replacement faculty, but when he told the North Dakota Board of Nursing about it, he said the board told him that the plan didn't comply with its standards for hiring new faculty. Easton interpreted that to mean that the nursing board told him, I cannot fight for our students and I cannot even look for new nursing faculty members, a claim members of the nursing board flatly denied. And while Easton acknowledged making many mistakes and said his shortcomings were numerous, his resignation statement also repeatedly suggested that his resignation was prompted by the nursing board's insistence that DSU comply with its stringent hiring rules. Okay, first of all, they have rules for a reason. And had you actually, Mr. Ex-President, looked at those rules and understood nursing, maybe you wouldn't have these problems. But I digress. Let's go on. So it says, this means I cannot work on behalf of DSU students by trying to find a new nursing faculty. If I cannot work for DSU students, I am no longer a benefit to DSU, so I will step aside. I am thinking that alumni got on his butt and so did the trustees. And they said, you'd have made a mess that's all over the country now. And I think that's probably what happened. But he goes on. So the nursing board released a new statement Monday saying it did not force Easton's resignation or disallow the hiring of replacement nursing faculty. The conflict between the nursing faculty and administration is a result of an increase in credit production requirements, the number of student credit hours generated by the program faculty in an academic year. Easton announced earlier this year that he was imposing the changes on all faculty members as part of a wider effort to cut institutional costs, which also included slashing numerous degree programs. And so basically, again, what was his major? Business and economics. I'm just saying that because I think sometimes we look at things on paper and it makes sense, but when you have all these other information in here and you have to deal with, I'm sorry, but if you have highly regulated degrees programs like engineers and nurses and doctors, you just can't be making changes because you want to. This is not how it works. So basically, we just read over some of that, but I wanted to say this. So, according to Easton's statement, the nursing board did not reach out to discuss the plan with him directly before sending him a letter on Friday that said the plan provides evidence of noncompliance because the board requires that a nursing administrator oversee faculty recruitment efforts. DSU's nursing administrator was among the faculty members who resigned last week. So basically, they told him, you can't be hiring nobody because you're not the right person to do the hiring. So it goes on and says it's not humanly possible to hire a nurse administrator quickly because accreditation standards require a nursing program administrator to hold a doctorate. Filling such a position also involves assembling a search committee and conducting extensive interviews and a background check. Given what he called the board's, quote, hasty action in denouncing his plan, he said the only realistic option for staffing the nursing program by fall is for DSU to hire back the resigned faculty members who have already been through the search process. So basically, they got to hire everybody back. He went on to accuse the nursing board of, quote, forcing DSU to make a choice between the interests of our current students and the interests of DSU's future students, including but not limited to future nursing students. The board has dismissed those accusations, with members saying they will keep working with DSU to continue the education of more than the 111 students left in the lurch due to the conflict between administration and faculty, which resulted in this crisis at this institution. Also in the letter, the board reminded the university about, quote, multiple nursing program shortcomings that would come under review at an upcoming board meeting on July 25th. Those shortcomings included not only the mass resignations, but also survey results from June about DSU's nursing program, which detailed, quote, significant discord between Mr. Easton, administration, and the nursing faculty. The board's letter encouraged them to try to keep filling its nurse administrator position and then restore its faculty to pre-resignation staffing levels with the qualified individuals necessary for the effective instruction of further students. So, yeah. Also, this is interesting to know some things that happen here. Although Easton's statement pointed to the wholesale departure of DSU's nursing faculty as the drivers of resignation, he's also been a part of larger efforts to weaken tenure protections across the state. Y'all better pay attention to this dude. He might try to show up at some other institution. You better watch it. So in 2023, he drafted a failed piece of legislation on behalf of Representative Mike Leffer, the North Dakota's legislature's Republican House Majority Leader, that would have allowed the presidents of DSU and Bismarck State College to fire tenured faculty members at their discretion with no ability to appeal. Mm-hmm. This spring, the State Board of Higher Education signaled potential support for weakening tenure through Mark Hageroth, Chancellor of the North Dakota University System, who said the board was considering implementing reductions to tenure protections across the state with the express goal of lowering the number of tenure positions at community colleges. But 1 month later, the Higher Education Board went into executive session and came out with unanimous decision to end Hageroth's contract though he's not set to vacate the position until December 2025. Mm, 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 mm. So there's more that goes into this story. So there's a lot. I encourage you to read this story, but that was a lot to just get over right now. Okay, so we just had that. I'm gonna be wrapping up early. I got a lot of stories, but I gotta have to wrap it up early. We might save some of it to next week because I gotta wrap it up early because my voice is going. But I do want to bring this up because it's right here at home, and I think we need to know what's happening. So nursing homes report payment disruption under managed care. I'll make this much bigger so I can actually see it. Okay. So it says some nursing home operators say they haven't been paid since the state transitioned to managed care on July the 1st. Jeff Huffman and other nursing home operators in the state say they haven't been paid for their work since the state transitioned to managed care for Medicaid services on July. Excuse me, let me make this smaller. On the Pathways to Aging program. So if you're not familiar, what has happened is that if you were like I think 65 or older, they changed where you could be on Medicaid. And they changed the program. So they have like regular Medicaid for everybody else that's younger, and then they have like old age Medicaid basically. Okay. So basically, we rely on Medicaid reimbursements to keep our bills paid and keep operating. When all of a sudden the spigot gets turned off, that's not going to last long for a small company. Huffman said, who's the CEO of the Strategies. The Strategies operates 5 nursing homes and rehabilitation facilities across the state in Muncie, Lagoti, and Vincennes, and employs roughly 300 Hoosiers to care for 230 residents. We're 2 or 3 payrolls away from not being sure what we're able to do. Paul Pieper, the president of the Indiana Healthcare Association and represents the interests of operators like Huffman, said he's heard from several facility teams about issues submitting claims. Okay. So he says they've been communicating with the managed care entities about the denials. They said they are aware of the issues. I just don't think anyone's aware of the ramifications. I think the FSSA standpoint, from a managed care entity standpoint, that this is one of those things that happens in transition. But a small family-owned company like ours, with only 5 buildings, we don't have $10 million laying around to get through expenses and payroll until they figure out how to start reimbursing correctly. So just to keep you abreast of what's happening there, I'm going to have to stop it because, like I said, my voice is about gone. And so I did want to say, join us for our event tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and I want to kind of conserve my voice so I can be on this audio event tomorrow. So that's another one of the reasons why I decided to just cut it short today. Thanks for tuning in to our nursing news you can use. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, the Nurse Shark Academy show YouTube channel, and also our Baxter Professional Services and the Nurse Shark Academy Facebook pages. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget the LinkedIn event tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And one last commercial, and goodbye for now. Are you ready for more? My mission is for you to own your seat at the table of nurse entrepreneurship, gaining confidence, skills, and the freedom to live your life on your own terms. Assisting you in achieving your goals through tailored advice, continuous learning, and a collaborative approach is at the heart of everything I do. Stop being eaten alive. Come feel the sun. Be a nurse shark.